everyone, hope you are all doing well. Today we are talking all things Doc Martens. Now if you follow me on Instagram, which you probably do, you'll know I wear them with pretty much every outfit. They go with every outfit and they are one of my favourite pairs of shoes. I just love them, and recently I was getting a lot of questions about, you know, would I recommend them, are they easy to break in, which ones would you recommend to begin with, etc, etc. So I thought I would just do a little video and show you guys the two pairs that I have, compare them, tell you what I think are useful for what I would recommend, etc, etc. And hopefully this will be useful for any of you who are thinking about buying a pair, or perhaps you're like not sure about whether they'll suit you. Hopefully this video will be useful for you. So I have two pairs, as I said. The first pair are these ones. These are the classic 8 eyelet boots, I think they're called. I will leave the actual proper name on the screen if it's different. But these are like what I would class as like the classic Doc Marten boots. If you went into Doc Martens and said, I want your classic Doc Marten boots, this is probably what you would be given. They're just, you know, a classic lace-up boot in this like harder leather. They do also do these in more of a softer leather as well, which is great. Obviously black laces. I really like these. They're very like simple classic Doc Martens. And then the other pair I have, which is the pair that I wear all the time, are these bad boys. Now you've probably seen a lot of people with these because they are so popular at the moment, and they are the JADON boots. So they're super chunky. They have like extra platform, which I love, but it's not for everyone. Again, in the same kind of like hard leather. These ones have like silver eyelets, so not fully all black, but you can't really see the difference, and they also have a zip. These are definitely a very different vibe to the last ones. As you can see, they are pretty much the same thing, but they do just give a different vibe, and you can totally see that when you hold them up. Some people might say that there's no difference in them, one's chunky and one's not, but they do give different vibes, and I'm about to explain to you the difference between the two. So I bought these about 2 years ago when I was working in London, and I really wanted to get this like chunky boot vibe. I wanted this like lace up boot vibe. This was like when chunky boots weren't really a thing then, but they were kind of becoming more of a thing, and I really wanted a pair of Doc Martens. I kept seeing people wear them with dresses, and I was like, I need those. So I bought them. I bought a pair, and I used to wear them to work. Now you're probably thinking, God, you wore them straight away to work? Yeah. I broke them in walking to work. Now I say walking to work very loosely, because I used to do my commute from the train station. So when my train got into the main station in London, and then on the tube, I would literally walk. When I would walk from the tube to my office, that would be the walking that I would do to break these in. And honestly, it worked a treat. I love them. I think they're definitely a good place to start when it comes to Doc Martens, because it can be really overwhelming. Doc Martens have so many pairs, and it's like, what ones do I go for? And I think a really good place to start is with the classic style, the classic ones, the ones that kind of, when people think of Doc Martens, they think of these, because you know that they're not going to go out of style. And if you ever decide they're not for me, you can sell them, which is great. I mean, you could sell any pair, but these ones are more likely to be bought, because if they come back into style, or they're more of a trendy piece again, more people will buy them. Now I will say, I don't think they're ever going to be something that aren't trendy, because they're a classic shoe. Doc Martens are a brand that sell the same shoes every single year. They just might add a few more styles, they might add a few more colours or whatever. They're a brand that will always be as they are, kind of like Converse. They're just a classic brand that will always sell their shoes. So when you're buying a pair of Doc Marten boots, you know that you can wear them time and time again. You can wear them for years. They most likely will last you a very long time, and you know that when it comes to a point where you don't really like them anymore, perhaps you're not really a fan anymore, you could sell them, you could pass them down. They're a great shoe. Like, I actually could not rave about them more. I think they're great. So as I said, I've had these for 2 years, and this is what they look like at the bottom. I'm not even joking you when I say I used to wear them all of the time. I used to wear them into my commute to London all the time. I still lived in Cambridge at the time. I still do live in Cambridge currently. And I used to commute into London, wear them all the time. I've worn them a lot. Bearing in mind, since I've had the other ones, I haven't worn these ones as much, but I've had these for a while, and like they look barely worn at the bottom. So you can see if you buy a pair of Doc Martens, they're gonna last you, which is great. Obviously my ones do have like creasing in them. I didn't realise until after I'd had these for like a year that I should have put like what's it called, there's a technical term of like stuff that you have to put on the boots to stop the leather cracking. I didn't realise. I didn't know that when I bought these, so they are kind of cracked in areas. I'm not that fussed. I will link the stuff that you should put on them when you get them down below for anyone who's interested. But yeah, it's basically designed to stop them from cracking easy, but mine have cracked quite a lot. I don't really mind. I didn't really realise, and also I've worn them a lot, so I don't really care, but it's just something to know if you're going to buy these. And in terms of the actual shoe, they look pretty good. Like, they look pretty new. Obviously, like I said, you can see the cracks and you can see where it's creased, but like in terms of the leather, really shiny still, really new. Obviously creased here from where they've been worn, and you can tighten them, loosen them however you want. One thing I will say, if you're going to wear these in, is to one, wear 2 pairs of socks, 2, wear like maybe 1 pair of normal socks and then a pair of fluffy socks, and it just adds a little bit of a padding that you just need in life. That's what I did with these, and I was fine with them. The hard part of these shoes is this bit here. It's quite like tough, so if you struggle with that kind of thing, then maybe add extra socks, or get your blister plasters at the ready. You probably will need blister plasters, but once you wear them in, you're good to go. You don't need to worry. I always wear 2 pairs of socks with these anytime I wear them, but that's just me. I hate getting blisters, so I like to make sure that I'm fully covered. But yeah, I love these. I think in terms of a pair of shoes, they're amazing, and I do really think that they're a really good starting place if you're thinking about buying a pair. Like I mentioned with wearing them in, they are a bit of a process. Any Doc Marten boots are going to be a bit of a process when it comes to wearing them in, but once you've worn them in, they're amazing. And they're just a really easy wearing boot. Now, if you're someone who doesn't want to wear a pair of shoes in, you're not interested, you don't really care for the type of like style in terms of this kind of leather, they also do the, I think it's called the Pascal leather, which is like a flimsy soft leather. So if you're more into the fact that you want a Doc Marten but you don't really want to wear them in, you're not that fussed, I will link those ones below, because they are like a softer leather, easier to break in, so I've heard, and they still give that Doc Martens look. However, they don't give that like tough structured vibe like these do, because they're more softer, so they'll mold to your foot a little bit better, which is equally just as good. For me personally, I like more of the kind of like grungy vibe, so having this kind of tough leather really works for me. But obviously if you're someone who's not really fussed about tough leather, you don't really care about the leather as such, you just want the look, then those ones are a really good one to go for, and you don't have to break them in. Well, so I've heard. I don't quote me on that because I don't have a pair. But yeah, so those are those. Now we'll go on to the JADON boots. So these are my babies. I love these so much. These are definitely a different vibe, and you can tell when you put them on. So these are very chunky. Let me just hold them up together. Look how chunky they are. They are so chunky. I love a chunky shoe, so I don't really mind. These are the same style of leather to these ones. Tough leather, really nice, really like durable leather as well, because I've worn these quite a bit. And again, you can see a slight creasing, but they still look shiny and still look pretty fresh. These are the classic black ones. There's no shiny leather or anything, these are just how they are. I had a question on how I kept them shiny. This is literally just how they came. So I don't know. So yeah, these are more of a grungy look. They're definitely not to everyone's taste, but I do love them. I do love them a lot. They have a zip to get them on. I'm not entirely sure of the logic of that, but I think it's because the way these boots are made, they're a little bit like slimmer on the foot, and it's hard to get these on, let alone get these on. So I can totally understand, I just hit myself in the face, I can totally understand why there would be a zip here. Obviously it has the laces, but I never undo them, only when the laces come undone by themselves, then I do them up. And you can obviously do them up wherever you want on the boot and leave them there, which is great. So in terms of these boots, wearing them in is not easy. They aren't the most comfortable, and the boots rub in different places to the other ones. So these rub like along this part here and the back of your shoe, whereas these ones rub more so at the back. So yeah, and also the zip can be a little bit irritating, especially at the top. Obviously everyone is different and you might not find them uncomfortable. Some people don't find these hard to wear in, some people do. It's just completely down to how your feet are. Everyone is different, right? So yeah, I personally haven't found them the worst to break in, but I haven't worn them for a long period of time. I've only really worn them like walking to somewhere or shooting content. When I go and shoot outfits in London, for example, I will wear them walking around and then maybe take them off and switch to another pair of shoes, and then wear them walking around. So I'll wear them like little patches, and that is kind of how I managed to break them in. I just wore them little and often, you know, little. Maybe I'll take a walk to the post office, I'll wear them then. Maybe I'll go to the supermarket, I'll wear them then. You know, like little walks, and then eventually they just kind of become easier to wear, which is amazing. With these, you do need to make sure that you have your blister plasters at the ready, because you're more likely to need them with these. I mean, you probably would need them with the other ones, but these ones are a killer, so make sure you have your blister plasters. And again, wearing 2 pairs of socks. Wear thicker socks. My friend Jess, Covent Garden, if you don't already follow her, you should. She has a pair, and she bought a pair of Doc Martens socks, and she said that they really helped. So good thing to buy if you're thinking, I really want to make these fit my feet and I don't want to kill my feet. Buy a pair of Doc Martens socks. Apparently they are amazing, and I take her word for it, so good thing to check out. I'll link a pair below for you guys. But yeah, I love these. Whilst they are harder to break in, I do love them, and they do give a very cool vibe. They're a very cool girl vibe, and that's not going to be for everyone. I personally wouldn't buy these straight away unless you knew you wanted them. If you've been wearing chunky boots a lot and you're really into the chunky boots, these are definitely one to go for, because you know you like a chunky boot. If you're someone who's like, I want a pair of Doc Martens, but I'm not really sure if those ones will suit me, go for these, because these are like a classic. You can't really go wrong with these. But if you like the idea of having a bit of height, or you like to just have that edgier vibe, then these are definitely one to go for. These do give an edgier vibe, whereas these ones do give more of just a classic vibe. Still give a bit of edge, but these ones are a little bit more edgy, if you will. I also love these because, like I said, they give you a bit of height. I'm 5'2.5". I need that little bit of extra height. It just elongates my body a little bit more, and I do just love the way they look. I don't know what it is about the chunkiness, I just love it so much. I just love a chunky shoe. I just think it really works. But again, not going to be for everyone. Another thing that I found out recently from one of my lovely followers is they do these boots in the soft leather. So again, if you're not interested in this hard, tough kind of look, then go for the soft leather ones. They're essentially the same as the soft leather ones for these. And apparently they're easier to break in because the leather is soft rather than being tough. So again, if you're looking to buy these and you're like, I don't want to wear them in, I'm not fussed, I just want to be able to have that chunky boot look that will last me a long time, then go for those ones. Personally for me, I wouldn't go for the soft leather ones, not because they're ugly or anything like that, but because I like this like tough classic leather look. For me, it works with my style so well that I love it, and I know that I probably will wear these boots for years to come. Like, I have been wearing like chunky boots and boots for years, so I know that I will get a lot of wear out of these. So that's why I personally would go for the chunky leather. But if you're someone who's like, I don't really want to wear them in, I just want to be able to wear them, or you're like, I don't really care about tough leather, then go for the other ones, because it might save you a bit of like foot agony, you know. No one needs that. So yeah, these are definitely a boot for the right person, and not everyone is going to suit these. One thing I will say also is that they are currently a very trendy shoe. Whilst they are trendy and they won't go out of style because Doc Martens have sold them for years, it's just something to be aware of. If you're thinking about buying a pair of Doc Martens and you're like, I don't want to hate them in a year because they're the trendy ones. Then I would make sure you go for something more classic like this, or go for the Chelsea boot style if you're not really into the lace up. These are very, very popular at the moment, and I don't see them going anywhere. They've been popular for a very long time, but it's just something to note. If you're going to buy them, make sure you don't buy these ones just because they are the coolest ones and everyone's got them, because you need to think about you and what you would wear them for, and are they suitable for your style. You don't want to be buying something that doesn't really work for you. Also, if you are taller, you might find that these are too much. I mean, I would say they're like, what, they're like 2 inches maybe, not even that, 1.5 inches. I'll leave the proper measurements on the screen for anyone who's actually tall and wants to make sure that they're not going to be a giant with these. I do think they give a decent amount of height, and they are quite a good like lifter, but obviously I don't think they're like heel worthy. So if you are like a bit on the taller side, you probably would be fine with these. But if you're on the taller side and you're like, I really like those but can't really wear them, go for these ones, because they're essentially the same shoe. One's just got a chunkier sole, which I love. And again, as you can see, looking beautiful at the bottom. There's no wear down, which I really, really like. Something that I hate when you buy a pair of boots from like a high street brand, or perhaps just any shoe brand that's not like really thought about their soles, is when they wear down and you're like, oh, if I don't like these in a year's time, I can't sell them because they're like worn down, and no one's going to be wanting to buy a pair of worn down shoes. So yeah, I honestly just love them. They're so, so good. So in terms of first time buyers looking to buy a pair of Doc Martens, and you're thinking, I want a pair, I really want to get into this Doc Martens vibe, 1000% would recommend buying these ones first. Now, if you're someone who wants to build a collection, or someone who just wants a pair of Doc Martens and you want to have that in your style and you want to, you know, roll with it, these ones are amazing. I don't wear them as much because they're more flat, and I quite like the chunky look. As I mentioned before, chunky shoes are something I really, really enjoy, and they do give me the height, so I like to go for those. But they're not for everyone, and these ones are just a great way to start your collection. If you're someone who is thinking, I really just like the chunky ones, like I don't really want to buy those ones, I don't think I would wear them as much, buy these ones, because at the end of the day, you want to buy the shoes that you like the most. If you like the chunky ones and you're a first time Doc Martens wearer and you're thinking, God, like I really want them, I don't want to break them in, but like I don't want those flat ones, I want the chunky ones, get the chunky ones. And if you don't want to break them in and do that, then get the soft leather ones. Everything will be linked below, by the way, so you can go and buy what you want and check them out. But yeah, go for the shoes that work for you and your style and your height and what you're going to wear them for and how you're going to wear them in, etc, etc, because there's no point buying a pair of shoes that doesn't suit your style and suit you. Like for instance, I could sit here and say, if you're a first time buyer, buy the flat ones, but then you could turn around and be like, yeah, I'm a first time buyer, but I don't want the flat ones, I want the chunky ones, so go for the chunky ones. But if you're someone who's like really unsure and you don't know where to start with like buying a pair of Doc Martens, buy these, and then you can always send them back. If you don't like them, buy a different pair. Annoyingly, the shops aren't open, so we can't go and try them on, which is such a shame because that's the perfect way of working out what you would like. But yeah, I would go for these ones as a starting point if you're not sure. In terms of breaking in shoes is different for quite literally everyone. I've seen some people say with these boots that they've just put them on and been fine, and I'm like, okay. So it's different for everyone, but a few tips on breaking in your Doc Martens are: 1, you need blister plasters. Have them in your bag, have them in your pocket, have them ready at all times. If you're really concerned, put them on before you wear your Doc Martens so you're ready, don't need to worry. Number 2, wear 2 pairs of socks and wear thick socks. I usually wear 2 pairs of socks, or maybe 1 pair of socks and a pair of fluffy socks, just to add that like padding. You need that, especially if they're new, because they are like the toughest of toughest leather. You do not want to be breaking your feet the minute you put them on. And buy a pair of Doc Martens socks and give those a go. Like I said, I've not actually tried them myself, but my friend Jess has, and she says they're amazing, so I recommend those. I'll link them below, as I said before. Number 3, wear them little and often. So at the start, you're not going to be able to walk all day in them because, let's face it, they're going to hurt your feet. So wear them little and often. Wear them to the supermarket, wear them around your house, wear them on your little walk. Don't go on a long walk, but if you're going on like a little walk down the road and back again, do that. If you just pop into the shops, if you're I don't know, just walking around the block once, wear them little and often. Don't wear them for long periods of time if your feet can't handle it, because it's just going to be in agony, and then you're going to be in the middle of the supermarket and your feet will be hurting and you're stuck in the supermarket, you've got no other shoes to wear. Just don't do it to yourself. Just wear them little and often. A good thing is just to wear them around the house. Maybe wear them up and down stairs or whatever you want to do. Great way of just like getting them used to your feet, because they need to mold to your feet, and they also just need to kind of what's the word, they just need to start like moving. The leather is very like sturdy, so the leather needs to start moving, and then hopefully you can actually like wear them for longer periods of time. So once you've started wearing them in more and more, you'll be able to wear them for longer periods of time and wear them like less often but longer periods of time, if you know what I mean. So you just have to kind of like get yourself wearing them a bit more. Granted, I will say it took me ages to wear these in, and I haven't probably really properly worn them in because I haven't had the opportunity to leave the house, and I wear them obviously when I'm shooting and stuff, but I don't get to wear them like on long walks or anything like that because I don't think I would trust myself personally. I'd rather wear a pair of trainers. So mine are pretty worn in, but there are times when I put them on and I think, nah, not today, I'm not in the mood, I can't handle it. So just something to note, they are going to take time, but if you give yourself the time to mold them to your feet, etc., and work them in, you'll be fine. And then the final tip is, if you're not into wearing them in, try the Pascal leather ones, the softer leather ones that will hopefully not hurt your feet like the other ones do, because I won't lie to you, they do hurt your feet, but if you're ready for it and you're prepped for it, it's fine, you can get over it. It's definitely something that, like, if you know it's happening, you can do it. It's just if you put them on and your feet die and you're like, damn it, why did I do this to myself, I didn't bring plasters with me, I'm wearing one pair of socks, then you're screwed. But yeah, any more tips? Do I have any more tips? Another tip I've heard is using a pad, like a sanitary pad, and putting it against the zip here of these boots or around the back. I personally haven't managed to even understand how that hack works, but I've heard that is a good hack, worth giving a go if they're really killing your feet. So I guess those are my Doc Martens wearing in tips. Oh, and also the leather, I don't know what you call it, leather treatment is a good thing as well for your boots. As I said before, linked below. But yeah, I think that's everything I have to say about the Doc Martens shoes. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if it was useful. I kind of feel like I just rambled, but I don't know. So let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if you're going to buy a pair of boots. I would love to know. I'd love to know which ones you will buy or which ones you already have. If you have any tips that I haven't mentioned about wearing them in, pop them in the comments so other people can see them. That would be very useful. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. I feel like I've spoken for long enough. You're probably bored of me by this point. But yeah, feel free to message me on Instagram if you have any other questions about them. But yeah, I will catch you all in my next video.